All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our call with Adisa. As always, please raise your hand and I'll unmute you. We'll start with Daniel Gallen.
Good morning, Adisa. How are you?
Morning, how you doing?
I'm doing well. We saw the pass rush really be able to get home against Indiana with 6 sacks, three from the defensive ends. What was that like for you guys, and how do you feed off of each other when you're getting after the quarterback?
It's always a domino effect. We're a tight group in that defensive unit. So, anytime one of our brothers make a play, that just fuels the rest of us, to go get it. So that definitely helps when, we have one person who sets it off up front, especially like when you have that interior pressure, and that really helps the rest everybody else feed off of it, especially with our scheme.
Donnie Collins.
Adisa, how do you guys judge your success when you have statistical success like that? When you have other games that there isn't the statistical success, but you got a lot of pressure. How do you guys kind of go about that, and when you're watching film?
The right corrections and learn from it and get better from it. So that really helps when we and being very intentional in practice throughout the week definitely helps during the game. So it's a lot easier for seeing formations and everything like that. So it definitely helps that we just key into that throughout the week, and it helps when we have that one guy that just sets it off and helps everybody else feed off of him.
Andrew Clay.
Hey, D, so this defensive line is really different than what it was last year. You guys have a lot of different guys in there. How would you grade how the chemistry between the group from week one to where you are now?
It's definitely built over time. We had a lot of new pieces, new faces, a couple transfers, chop. So it was definitely great with those additions, and they fit perfect with us. And it was just great that we got to gel throughout camp and just create that chemistry with the new defense together. So that definitely helped build the chemistry.
Joe Smoltzer.
Hey, Adisa, thanks for the time. Talking about Maryland, you've been familiar with Tagovailoa for a while now. What are just some of your impressions of him as a quarterback?
I think he's a great player. He's very smooth in the pocket. He's very fast. I definitely experienced his speed in game, so I know that he's very quick. So you definitely have to do a good job on defense to contain him. But he's a hell of a player. He's doing good things at Maryland this year with his team. So credits to him.
Seth Engel.
Adisa, you mentioned Chop Robinson. Just wondering, how would you assess his performance over the course of the season? And have you noticed any extra excitement from him, as he prepares to play his former team?
Yeah, Chop is like he's very similar to AK. Just that initial burst that he has. He's very quick. He's getting great with using his hands. He's gonna be a phenomenal player once he gets the hang of playing defensive end for the first time. So I'm definitely excited to see what he does moving forward. And definitely playing his old team. Obviously he just transferred from there, so it's gonna be a good competition. It's definitely gonna bring out the best in him, and it's gonna bring out the best in us as well. So I'm excited to see that.
Daniel Gallen.
With Chop, what's something about him off the field that we might not know about him, so far, given that he's pretty new to Penn State? What's he like in the meeting room? What does he bring to the off-field perspective of this team?
He's real, he's real funny. We all gel together. That's another reason why he was a perfect addition to us. We're all jokesters. We clown a lot, so he definitely was a great addition to us. He's definitely quiet though. He doesn't speak a lot most of the time. He's just laid back, tries to soak in the information and just listen more than he talks. So he definitely, when he does say something, it's definitely for good reason, or he's just explaining what's going on in his head. So he definitely is great in that aspect of just sitting back and trying to learn from great players and great coaches around us.
Donnie Collins.
Adisa, what makes Denai a little bit different as a young player, kind of playing a lot right now, and how is he kind of learning from you guys and the finer points of the position in the meeting rooms?
He's a real advanced player for his age. When I came in, guys like Shaka Tony, praise me for my maturity, but now it's my turn. Now I'm the old head. That now is like even like he's extremely ahead of it, ahead of his years. And he's trending in the right direction. Just overall weight room, just meetings, and then he just applies it to the field. It's like he's very consistent in what he does, and he knows what he's here for. He's here to work, and I'm definitely excited to see how he progresses throughout this next off season. And it's no telling, but he's a freak athlete. Yeah, you just have to just wait and see what he does. He's a great player, great person as well.
Max Ralph.
Hey, Adisa, thanks for your time. You mentioned AK in relation to Chop's name. They're kind of in similar spots of a plug and play transfer, but I'm curious how different you think your unit would be if Chop wasn't a part of it.
That is very interesting because he definitely adds great value to this team. He has great excitement to the team, to especially the D line. So, I'm just glad we have him on our team. I'm just glad that we can move forward, and develop and create and keep creating that chemistry with him as he's here with us. I try not to even look at if he wasn't here. I'm just glad that he's with us right now.
Joe Smeltzer.
Adisa, to follow up on my first question, would you say the Tagovailoa you've been watching on film this year is different from the player that you saw in 2020? And if so, what are, I guess, the big differences from his game from now compared to 2 years ago?
2 years ago is definitely, 2 years ago. So he's definitely a different player. He got a little more experience under his belt, a lot more chemistry with his team overall. So that helps with, his confidence in his game. He's definitely got a better passer, just making better decisions in his game. So he's definitely from 2020. He's a heck of a player from that time. So it's definitely something that we have to hone into throughout the week and make sure that we execute on game day.
Daniel Gallen.
Let's see. Sorry about that, Adisa. When you look at the interior of the defensive line, both Keziah and Devon got sacks at Indiana. What have you seen about what does it mean to have those guys, two depth pieces, be able to get to the quarterback and bring him down? What do those guys bring to your group?
They're both real unique players. For their size, their burst and quickness is very deceptive, and it catches you off guard in the power, just the overall play. Vaughn, he's very powerful in his rushes and has a lot of finesse as well. So he kind of sneaks up on you at times, but you sleep on him when you have PJ next to him and other guys that might jump off the tape. But those two guys right there, like when they get rolling and they get comfortable in their rushes, they turn into something very special. And I'm glad that you got to see that last weekend.
Donnie Collins.
Adisa, how much easier, I guess is the word, does it make your job as a rushing the passer when you're getting that kind of consistent pressure from the defensive tackles up the middle?
Adisa, I think you're muted.
Sorry. That makes our job a lot much easier. The pocket becomes smaller, and we're able to contain the quarterback more efficiently, and that's something that we have to do this weekend. So I feel like just that initial pressure doesn't give them the quarterback an escape route, and helps everybody contain him better.
Time for two more. Ron Snyder.
Raheem Jarrett had a pretty good game against you guys the last time you played. Obviously, you don't play in the secondary, but what can you guys do up front to really get pressure on the quarterback to limit what he can do in their passing game?
Just being honest in our rush lanes, trusting our linebackers to shoot gaps and be green doggers. So I just feel like just us, everybody trusting each other, just trusting each other and everybody doing their job. And that's really all it is to it. It's simple, but it's not easy. So, we just have to focus on doing the main thing, keeping the main thing the main thing.
Final question, Donnie Collins.
Adisa, have you gone against Drew Shelton a lot in practice? And if so, what kind of feel do you have for how much he's improved since camp?
Yeah, Drew. I like Drew. You know, he's a good guy. You know, but as overall his play, he's special. Like, you know, he has great footwork for a smooth 300 plus guy. You know, his feet are very smooth. So he's very flexible, keeping up with, you know, edge rushers. You know, he just has to work on a couple things with his power, but he's doing a great job. Just overall development since he's got here. You know, so definitely trending in a great direction. And he's going to be special. You know, once he really hones in and has more confidence in himself, he's going to turn into something that's, you know, that's very unique.